Right, welcome back to the Vengacast. Today I'm here with a record amount of 3 people. James, Liam and Pav.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Just back for same as what we done last time for the Premier League. Just going to go through each game one by one, see what we think will happen.
Sounds good.
Right, should we just get straight into it then? Southampton,
Yes.
Liverpool tonight.
Oh,
Gonna be a tight game.
Yeah, James, we'll start with you. Well, how do you think the game will play out?
Well, Liverpool need to win it because they need to keep up with City, because I don't see City losing anytime soon. And but Southampton also have to play for relegation, so I can see them coming out quickly. But I think it'll be a tight game. Don't rule Southampton out.
Yeah. You keep going.
Well, it's a must-win game for Liverpool, really. As I've already said, when Man City played already, so I'm a bit lost because I'm just repeating what I said a second ago.
Man City aren't playing this game week for some reason. I don't really know how the fixtures work this week. It's a bit weird. There's only 6 games on for some reason.
Yeah. What do you think, Pav?
to be fair, as Liverpool is obviously a much better team than Southampton, and they always seem to do the job against them. But with Southampton's position in the league, because as bad as Cardiff is playing, it wouldn't massively surprise us if they done a massive comeback and they'd stay up. So
you think Southampton are still at risk of going down?
Yeah, probably.
Do you not think, just looking at their squad, do you think that squad's maybe too good to go down? Or do you think there is
definitely.
a realistic
It's definitely
chance?
too good to go down, but obviously with players like Angus Gunn and Ned, Bednarik at the back.
Yeah.
So Shane Long up top as well.
Mm-hmm. So what would you say is the weak point of the Southampton side? Why are they where they are this season?
I kind of feel like it's just a team made up of really average players. Since Mane and Van Dijk left, they haven't had a really good player who would win the games for them, and they haven't really got a really good number 9 to score the goals since probably. Well, they've already had one, to be fair, when they went in the Prem.
It's probably the last good one that they had was Pella, and even he was not the best.
Hit the miss, yeah.
Yeah.
I think this season it's also Mark Hughes as well. Didn't put them off to a good start. The new manager's done well.
Yeah,
but before that, I thought it was poor management before that, and wasn't. They just didn't look good when they were playing, but they look a lot better now, and they seem to be pretty safe now, I'd say, because I think that they're definitely good enough.
Liam, if Southampton ought to get a win, or even just a point here, which would be probably good enough for them, how do they sort of combat what Liverpool are going to come at them with?
It's hard to say, really. To be honest, I'll probably disagree with James in the sense that it's must win. Because when you look at it, kind of one win takes them kind of 14 from 36 points. And I think this season that's going to be probably more than enough. I don't think this 40-point normal safety is going to be a thing this season. The Cardiff are still sat on 28, and I can't say them picking up many more points than in games. So it's hard to say. I feel like Southampton, of course, will do, especially in a game like this, they'll have to sit back, but it just depends on how long they can sit back for and kind of keep the Salah and all them kind of likes at bay. They can do and hit them on the counter attack, because I've seen holes in that Liverpool squad recently and get hit on the counter attack. But if they can hold the front 3 and then get them on the counter now, maybe get an early goal or something like that, and I feel like they can win the game.
Yeah. Pav, what would you say? Do you think Southampton have a chance of winning here? Or is Liverpool, like Liam was saying, just that front line's just too good and they'll be hard to stop?
It will be a really, really hard game for Southampton to win. And if they do win, they'll have to put off a masterclass performance. But with the pressure that Liverpool it's under, I could see them getting a point or even a win in this game if they do play the game right.
Yeah.
And use Liverpool to be weak points to maybe just even get an early goal and, like Liam said, just sit back for the whole game,
Yeah.
try and see it through. But with that team that Liverpool have and how dangerous they are going forward, I don't know if Southampton's defence is good enough to like stop them.
Yeah. I mean, Southampton play like 3 at the back at the minute, which sort of against this Liverpool team it could either work really well if you sort of everyone stays with their man and never switches off, but you are taking a risk if to leave gaps at the back if they do start playing their best football.
Because you got that front three, and then what's behind them? We've got like Wijnaldum and Keita who can't go forward, and all like current midfielders, especially Wijnaldum. Like on his day, he is a really good player.
Yeah.
It isn't a weight game though, so can't expect too much from
him. James, I'll go to you then. They were both saying sort of Liverpool's weak point is sort of defensively. I know you're obviously a big Andy Robertson fan. So, would you maybe agree with that Liverpool's defence does have issues?
I'd say they do have a strong defence, but they can, like any team who plays like attacking like they do, there's always going to be holes and can be hit on the counter attack. And Southampton can score. Like they are very like quick kind of in moving forward, and they've already they beat Spurs recently at home, didn't they? And they beat Arsenal earlier on in the season.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be too much of a shock to me if they did get a result. But Liverpool are very strong at the minute, and they can score goals. So it'll be a very tough game for Southampton.
Yeah. Liam, who would you say Southampton's sort of main man to get something out of this game?
It's hard to say because Southampton haven't, like you were saying before, haven't had one of them standout players in a while.
Yeah.
They need to get the strikers to start because now you sit there and look like you don't know who really the main starting striker is. The defence is going to be important as ever. Of course, you still got your likes of Redmond and all that kind of stuff, hoping to pull strings and kind of get hit on the counter attack. But I feel like it's going to have to be more of a overall performance and having one person stand out and kind of save them.
Yeah. Pav, do you maybe think Southampton's defence will have to sort of step up this game? Players like
definitely.
You're obviously a big fan of Bednarek since he's Polish.
Yeah. To be fair, when the new manager, he has been quite a good player, and he could be a big player for Southampton if he is given game time and is managed by the right coach.
I mean, I quite like that Southampton defence of sort of Yeshua.
Vestergaard's quite a good player as well,
Yeah.
I just think the only thing with that defence is
the pace.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Especially with the front three of Firmino, Martin, and Salah run that year. I think they're just sort of hoping that Liverpool's going to go for crosses all day. But
just imagine 6'7" Vestergaard chasing after Mane.
Yeah. I'll end with score predictions for this game then.
I think.
You go, Pav. Yeah.
I think 2-0 Liverpool.
Okay. Right. Who's going to score for Liverpool?
Probably the usual, Mane and Van Dijk.
Right. James?
I'm going to disagree with Pav. I think Southampton will score. I'm going to go for 1-1. I think Southampton can get something from it. I
can't like Shane Long to score early on. Shut me out.
Yeah.
Put a bet on Shane Long to score first.
Yeah, if I was a bet man.
No
Liam, we'll finish with you then.
I'm probably going to say 2-1 Liverpool. I think Salah and Mane are both, or Salah and Firmino are both one of 50 goals for Liverpool. So both of them will get a goal, both hit 50 on the same game. Happy days.
Yeah. Moving on then. Actually, I'll quickly throw in. I'll say, I don't know, I sort of agree with James. I think 1-1. I think there'll be a lot of pressure on Liverpool today. And Southampton's not been the best of grounds for them recently. Next is a bit of a boring game in most people's eyes. Bournemouth and Burnley.
I can't wait for it.
The game that everyone's looking forward to.
I'm at work.
Same. Can't wait for all of them.
Michael is sick just to watch it.
To be fair, in the last 5 games between these, there's never been a draw. Someone's always won, and Burnley have just edged it with 3 wins.
I'm gonna.
This one's at Bournemouth.
The last time, didn't Burnley absolutely turn them over?
Nah, 4-0.
Yeah, 4-0.
So
I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't see it happening again. I feel like that was like after Burnley had like a poor run of form, and then I think I remember them playing, and everyone was looking around saying, "What the hell happened to Burnley?" But I feel like they've always had that in them, kind of route one, crouchy header kind of style play. But that's just being Burnley of. And Bournemouth, they have a very good team, and they can deal with it. But when it gets to squeaky bum time in the 95th minute, Burnley can always just long crouch on and whack it up top.
Yeah.
James, obviously, we played Bournemouth a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Were you impressed when we played them? Or did you think there was sort of weak points that you noticed in that game?
I don't think they were at their best, really. I think they've got some good players, some good youth players as well. They've got a lot of pace. Yeah, great player. But I think they just, if they play their game like they can do, I think they'll win this comfortably. But Burnley have been good recently, and Bournemouth, I don't think have been at their best. So I think this game will be close. But I think Bournemouth just need to just try and play quick football. Burnley are going to just try to slow down the game really and play boring kind of long balls like they always do. So
yeah,
I think
you go on.
I think Bournemouth need to try not to let it turn into kind of a long ball, kind of slow game. They need to use the pace they've got and hit them on the counter. With players like Fraser and Callum Wilson, who will make the runs in behind. So I think it's just about how Bournemouth play, really.
Yeah. Pav,
Yes.
Burnley had lost 4 in a row, but they won their last game against Wolves at home. Are Burnley one of the teams that you would say still have quite a good chance of going down, maybe, despite how bad Cardiff have been doing?
I think they are like in a similar position to Southampton, so yes, they are like in that range of teams who can still go down, but I just don't think under Sean Dyche they would get relegated, just because obviously now they can't really aim for what they did last season, like European football, but I just think Dyche knows how to like win important games when they need to. But I do think they could struggle in this one, just because of how Bournemouth play. And isn't Bournemouth's pitch really, really small as well, compared to like other ones? So
the stadium is. I'm
sure the pitch is small as well.
It's very narrow.
It's probably just the stadium making it look smaller, to be honest.
So that's small.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Keep going.
Narrower.
I was just going to say it might be difficult to play a long ball at a small stadium. I mean, I'm not saying it's like a five-a-side pitch, but always looking for it.
So you were saying there about how you think Bournemouth will win this easily because of how they play. So how different? Because I agree with you there. I think these are two very different play styles. But do you maybe think Bournemouth's play style, this is sort of like its Achilles heel, how Burnley play? It's sort of how to stop it.
Yeah, like Bournemouth is actually like an enjoyable team to watch, but they do try and play nice into football, which could backfire against a team like Burnley, who can like just sit back, get one chance, score it, because they do have a good like front to it, Barnes and Wood. And if Burnley does go 1-0 up, I couldn't see them like conceding, because they are known for like having a really good defence and winning games like this.
I mean, I know what you mean. I think this could be a close game. I can't say it being very high scoring, to be honest.
No.
Despite how well like Bournemouth usually play, like you were saying, quite exciting, fast football. But I don't know. I think Burnley will do all that they can to stop them.
Still, kind of say Bournemouth that everyone's expecting, because they spent a lot of money on these amazing talented young players, and when you watch them play against like against Newcastle, they were poor against Newcastle. They were very poor. And I feel like Burnley is literally, like you're saying, the Achilles heel for this kind of team. Bournemouth play very similar to Wolves in the sense, and Burnley beat Wolves the other week. So I feel like the way the play is just the total polar opposite. I just don't think they've got the kind of right kind of players to deal with the slow game. They need to be fast, aggressive, kind of like Liverpool, kind of like your Wolves. And I just don't think they can. If Burnley do get control of the ball and slow it down, I don't think Bournemouth can really play much into that because they've got nothing to do with it.
Yeah. You were saying before about how much money Bournemouth spent. They're sitting in 12th at the minute. Would you say this has been a disappointing season for Bournemouth, considering how much they spent, and maybe they should have pushed on from last year? Or do you think this is sort of acceptable still?
I wouldn't say it's disappointing by any means. Like, Fulham spent over 100 million and they're relegated kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like no matter how much money now, it doesn't matter if you spend 200 million or absolutely nothing. As long as you need to spend it wisely. You can't just go throw money at things and expecting it to get better.
Yeah.
They have invested in a lot of young players, and of course that's how good that investment's going to be. It's not going to kind of come to fruition for like another couple of years. But right now they should be happy and comfortable with where they are, especially with the manager and the kind of team that they've got that they can push on.
Yeah. If all of you were if you were all to watch this game and predict how it went, who would each of you predict who would be man of the match in this game, based on how you think the game will go?
Is David Brooks injured?
Don't think so.
If not, I think real.
Can you say him scoring or just playing like?
Oh yeah,
just like his usual games.
Scoring, assisting, yeah, just controlling the game.
Yeah, James.
I think you could go. I'm going to go with Ryan Fraser. I'm not actually being serious with that. I don't know. It's a hard one because the game could go any way really, but at Bournemouth, Ryan Fraser's been a massive part of that. His goal contribution rate is like one of the highest in Europe. So
yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, he's been pretty impressive.
Yeah, so he's a bit like Messi. So
yeah,
I can see him having a good game because, I just think he's a very good player, and I think if he can get in behind, which might be hard against the Burnley defence, more times than not he's going to put it away, and he can also kind of be the main man for Burnley sometimes this season, along with Brooks, I think.
Yeah.
But I think it's a hard one to call.
I think you were saying about Fraser? Hasn't Fraser got the second most assists in the Premier League this year, just behind Hazard?
Aye.
Which is
He's got 10.
Quite impressive for the sort of squad that he's in.
Yeah, no, it is. And he scored quite a few goals as well. So
yeah,
he's doing very well.
Liam, who would you say then?
I'll probably go for one of the Burnley centre defenders, kind of Tarkowski and me. If that's at the start, of course, I wouldn't say any reason why they wouldn't. I feel like the Bournemouth team are probably going to, when they get the ball, try and hit them fast and hit them hard. And I feel like them two players are really good at kind of stopping it and making sure that, we're playing this slow kind of slugfest kind of match. And I feel like they're kind of two players that are really good at making that happen.
Yeah, just stopping the other team playing their usual games.
Yeah.
Score predictions from each of you then?
I think it could be one in each way, but I think Bournemouth just edges this one, and let's see, one of Bournemouth.
Yeah, so you think Bournemouth will sort of just keep going at them, and eventually they'll break through?
Just see the game through, yeah.
Yeah. James?
I'm going to go 2-0 Bournemouth.
Right.
Ryan Fraser to score first.
Decent. And then Liam?
This is on goal.
We're going to go for 1-0 Burnley.
Yeah, I agree. I think 1-0 Burnley. They'll nick it. Be a nice...
95th header.
I was going to say Ashley Barnes header.
95th header. Yep.
Huddersfield, already relegated Huddersfield, and Leicester.
I think Leicester's going to battle them.
Yeah.
They have been on form, to be fair, and it kind of, for quite a few months now, it just looks like Huddersfield knew they were going to go down and kind of just started preparing for next season.
Yeah.
In the Championship. They haven't won, they lost the last 4 games. Beat Wolves 1-0 somehow.
They always beat Wolves, it's weird.
Yeah, and then Leicester's won the last 3.
Yeah, Leicester's been on fire.
Yeah.
Well, they lost their first game under Rodgers, but since then they've just sort of brushed over everyone.
Mm.
And I don't know. Do you not think maybe what we saw in the last few years? I remember last year, as soon as West Brom were pretty much down and the pressure was off, they started putting in good performances.
Yeah, I
And
think
I
that.
particularly remember a famous one when we beat Spurs 5-1 when we were down. So do you maybe think the same will sort of happen with Huddersfield? Now that the pressure's off, they could sort of start putting in better performances than what they have been.
Yeah, I think so. I think, well, it's just they're not really playing for anything except kind of pride, and they're not gonna. They've got their kind of, sounds weird, but they've kind of got the freedom to, like, with no pressure kind of on them, to go out and play and try and, like, enjoy themselves while they're still in the Premier League, because as we know, a lot of teams can go down and not come back up for a while. So also a lot of players, I feel like at this time of the season, some of the most selfish ones might be looking for moves, so then they might try a bit harder, but I can still see this being a close game.
I was going to say that actually. Do you maybe think some of the Huddersfield players will be stepping up their performances for personal reasons, like what you were saying, to try and get a move to stay in the Premier League?
It's possible, yeah. I don't think there's too many players in their team with that kind of sort of personality, but it does. It will happen. Yeah, true. I don't think they've got many players with the ability as well, to be honest.
Liam, if you could take anyone from that Huddersfield team, well, would you take anyone? And if so, who would you take?
If I could take one player from that team, and I wouldn't take one player from that team and put it in the starting lineup of Newcastle for sense.
Yeah.
I would maybe take kind of just because of kind of midfield, kind of Aaron Moy, glass as far as I'd go. I just look at the team as if I know I've been saying because it's only been recently that they've been relegated, but they've been as good as relegated for a while now. And you would think after a while they would start playing with freedom. It's like, look, we're right down, we'll actually start playing. So I would thought they would be doing that for a couple of games now, and they're just rubbish.
Yeah.
They're just really not good, are they?
No, they're terrible.
They're absolutely. It's just it's hard because you can see they're kind of frustrated and annoyed, but the team just isn't good enough.
Yeah.
And I feel that a lot of the fans, except that the fans aren't necessarily getting angry because they look at the team and say it wasn't prepared for this kind of season. It was a bit. I wouldn't say lucky last season to have kind of a strong team last season. Not too entirely sure how a massive change happened, but they're just simply not good enough. I wouldn't even say they're good enough for kind of playoff spot in the championship right now.
I was going to say, James was saying a lot of teams who go down don't come back up now. How do you think they'll fare next season, now that they're definitely in the championship?
Well, I can't see them getting relegated again down to League One. Like,
no, they're not as bad as Sunderland.
Yeah, that can't happen. But I feel like it's going to take a lot for them to a lot for them to push for automatic promotion. But even that's going to be a long season for them to get in the playoffs. So they're going to play in the same way they're going to play now. Because I'm not going to lie, I would say the bottom half of the Premier League is probably easier than the top half of the Championship. It's because we all know, Newcastle know all about how tough that league is. You can be playing top of the table, bat them all over. You play the bottom of the table next week, get turned over. That league just makes no sense. So it's going to be hard for them.
Yeah. Talk more about Leicester then. Pav, how impressed have you been by Leicester in the recent weeks, and which players in particular?
So obviously since Rodgers took over, Maddison has been really good. Well, he's been good all season, to be fair, but he does seem to play with more freedom now as well in the number 10 role. He has probably been like one signings of the season for me. Vardy has been stepping up as well. Like, obviously, he hasn't been the same shape of Vardy as when they won the league, but he does still get like between 10 and 15 goals each season, so he's always a player to count on. Tielemans, he's a quality player as well.
He's been a really good signing.
He's really good.
It's been really good.
They just have like a really good team all about, really. Maybe apart from the centre-backs, they're a bit average.
Yeah,
a bit slow.
Yeah.
Do you think if
Evans is worried, but
think if Leicester build on this team further, do you think they could maybe push for a Europa League spot next season?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think
I
that they're
agree
more
with
than
that,
good
yeah.
enough for that. James, what else have you been impressed with for Leicester in the last few weeks?
To be
Some
honest, I'm
Scottish players
probably...
there, by the way.
Yeah, no, I
I don't think that's healthy.
Yeah, I'm looking at the squad now.
Um,
Not a single Scottish player.
it's pretty much just the same as Pav, really. I think Vardy has gone up in form recently again. He's starting to score quite a lot of goals recently. Maddison, after what I thought was quite a poor start to the year, has really come back and started playing really well. I think one of the main differences in 2019 is the signing of Tielemans. I think he's been really good for them, and he is a very good player.
Legend.
Yeah, number one team in the world right now. But I think that signing's really kind of boosted them, and they seem to be playing a lot better now. And as you were saying, with maybe improving maybe their defence a bit and a couple more signings, they can really push to be kind of that next team outside the big six.
Yeah. Liam, I would say Leicester probably have what separates them from most teams below them is their depth. Do you really think that's quite a crucial part to how they've sort of got up there this season and how well Rodgers has used that since he came in? Sort of that bench.
Yeah, Leicester are just solid all over, and it's a case of when you look at the start 11 on the bench as well, where if they were, of course, you can pick out places where they need to improve, but they're at the point now with the team where it's going to take like a big money signing for someone to come in and fit straight into that team, kind of like 30 million plus, because you're not going to get kind of players after about 10, 12 millions better than the players have already got on there now. So it's going to take a lot, and I feel like over the summer they can potentially get one or two high class signings, just slowly but surely building a squad, because if they start throwing loads of new players at it, it's just not going to work. The team's good enough as it is now. It just needs a few slight improvements. The depth is there. It just needs like you say, defence is solid, but it could be better in just them key signings, really.
Yeah. Score predictions for this one then?
3-0 Leicester.
I'm going to do 2-1 Leicester.
I'm going to go for 2-0 Leicester.
Who's probably going to be man of the match then? I'm assuming you're all going to say Leicester players. You all have them win.
Ben Chilwell.
Ben Chilwell on the 3-0 win.
Yeah.
Hat-trick. Chilwell hat-trick.
Two assists and a clean sheet.
Right.
Who's first?
I'm going to go Vardy. I think he'll score both goals.
Right.
I'll throw Gray in there or something after he starts.
Alright.
So we're going to play easy.
No, that's it. Probably not now.
I'll say...
Don't forget Wes Morgan.
Harvey Barnes has been great for them recently.
Yeah, he's a good young player.
That's what I'm saying about like their bench. It's just like so much stronger than the teams below them.
Gray, Albright, Barnes.
Yeah, it's just nice to bring them off the bench, isn't it?
James.
I'll say, I don't know, I think Huddersfield will score because I do think they'll step it up now that they're down. And just some players will try and get a move away, but I'll still say Leicester win 3-1. I'll give Tielemans man of the match. That midfield's been really good for Leicester recently. Moving on to the big one then. Newcastle, Crystal Palace.
As per usual.
Oh, yes. Enjoy the game.
Enjoy the game, yeah.
Probably a draw. That's why we always draw against them.
Well, in the last 15, we've drew 5. We've beat them 8 times and they've beat us twice.
Twice?
They've beat us twice. I remember one of them they beat with 5-1 at Selhurst. That was quite bad.
Awful.
But yeah, well, last 2 games, like Pav says, we've actually drew. So that's probably why he's saying that, Pav.
Yeah.
But,
So let's get close, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, who do you think has the best squad? Because I'd say us and Palace are quite similar.
Yeah,
I think similar, yeah.
If you
Newcastle
have to pick one,
just edge maybe just because the defence is more solid.
I think our defence is better than theirs, and goalkeeper. I think they've got the better player in Zaha, I think, but give Miggy some time and he'll be the best in the league. So
yeah, of course.
plus we got Well, they do have Batshuayi, who's a good player, but he's not done too much since he's joined. So I think Ronda knows edges on them, but I'd say very, very even teams.
James McCarthy as well.
Great player.
Yeah.
I actually really like Palace's fullbacks, to be fair. Maybe not Arnold as much, but
Wan-Bissaka's very good, I think.
yeah.
Just how good do you think he can become?
I think he can become
England starting
England
right back.
Yeah.
He has 113 tackles this season, which is mad. Yeah, for his age as well.
He's so tackling as well when he plays.
Yeah, I remember when they were playing Liverpool, the tackle he put on, I think it was Firmino, on the left side. It was quite for the player that Firmino is compared to one of Wan-Bissaka's first games. He was sort of showing intent from early on.
It's quite a mature player.
Yeah.
I remember when we played Palace earlier on in the league, away. I thought I was very impressed with him in that game. I thought he was the best player on the pitch on the day. You could tell that he didn't seem kind of phased by it at a young age.
I was just looking here weirdly, Milivojevic is Palace's top scorer. He's actually the top scorer for these teams, and pretty much, I was going to say, I think pretty much all of them are pens.
So just don't go away.
Yeah.
So if you were Rafa Benitez, do you mean?
I swear he's got a pen last game.
How many pens Palace get? If you were like Rafa, would you maybe say to them look, when
no
they're
tackles
in the box, just be careful. Because they get given them quite a lot.
Palace have got them kind of players though that kind of can likes of Zaha do love to drive into the box, and it's really hard to. It takes a lot of a good defender to stop him and not cause the foul.
Yeah.
So I feel like especially with how deep Newcastle will be sitting, it's going to be quite often where the likes of Zaha is driving into the box, and it's not going to take much for someone to just get a little nick on him in front to go down and get a pen. So they need to try to avoid it, but it's going to be hard with how much the likes of Zaha likes to attack that box.
Yeah, sometimes he's just so good that you have to bring him down.
Yeah.
James, I'm assuming you're going to this.
I am. Yes.
What kind of reception do you think Townsend will get? Well, what are you going to give him?
I probably just won't bother. I won't clap him.
Yeah.
I think he shouldn't have left. But I mean, I probably won't care. I doubt many people will care that much. You'll probably get the odd boos, I think. But I think we may as well just focus on our game. Didn't necessarily do anything wrong for us. He was good for us, but I mean, he left in a bit of a bad way, in my opinion.
But could you really blame him the way that he left? He wanted to keep in the England squad, and although he hasn't at the time, he thought he had a chance.
Yeah, I think so. But I think also we gave him his opportunity to come back after not being around for a long time, really. And I think you could see in our squad, give us one season in the Championship maybe, and if we don't come back up, then he could have left then. But I understand why he left, but it's just a bit annoying being a fan, because he was very good for us.
How would you expect Palace to play against us? Sort of coming away at the St James's, where we've won, is it 4 in a row? I want to say. Was it 4 or 5 in a row now?
I think it's 4.
5 in a row.
5, yeah.
Oh,
exactly. So, do you think Palace would have came? Do you think Palace will be looking at that and coming at this game differently than what they would have?
I think they'll be
for
wary
those 5
of
games.
that, but I mean, I think they will play on their mind. I think because we have been very good at home in 2019, but I don't think it'll change their game plan too much. It's still
How do you think they will come at us then? Do you think they'll sit back or just keep pressing them?
No, I think they'll try. With the way we play, I think they'll try kind of get on the ball more, and I think they'll try and get players like Zaha on the ball and running into the box, because obviously that creates penalties, which they love.
Yeah.
But it's also they've got some very skillful players. I think they're going to try and utilise the wings and try do that. But I believe in our defence to keep them out.
Yeah, like you say, I'm sort of a bit worried about our wing play. I think that's what could let us down here, because I'm not really looking forward to watching Townsend go up against Richie, who's a fill-in left wing back, and then Zaha versus Yedlin, who is quite clumsy at times, especially at defending.
Yeah, but don't forget where Richie's from, so I think it'll be fine.
I'm trying to play
Yeah,
FIFA.
he's from Portsmouth, isn't he?
Yeah, I know, but you know his nationality. Nah, I think...
He's having England squad next.
I don't know, the way we play, we're quite compact at the back, so I don't think it'll give their wingers too much of an opportunity to like be one-on-one with our like wing backs. I think quite a lot of the time we'll try to get two men like out to it. So I think our main game plan should be to stop the like Townsend and Zaha. But then I think we should try go for it a bit because we have been doing very well at home, and we do have quality going forward now with Almiron and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how we actually come out against them.
Pav, how well do you think? Well, how important of a signing was Batshuayi for them? Because that's sort of been Palace's main issue for a while now, not having that star number 9.
Well, we all know how like good Bent. So I think Batshuayi coming in does make a big difference because you can see that him and Zaha like playing together, and they do like complement each other when they play. He's also like a big name, so it does kind of like make other players step up as well, just to show like, I still deserve a place in the team sheet.
Do you think he'll want to stay at Palace permanently next year?
I don't think so. I just still think he wants to like play for a top team, especially Chelsea. But then again, I could imagine them trying to like put him in their team for the next few seasons.
Yes. Do you maybe think? Do you think he's good enough to play for Chelsea? Because Chelsea's another team who have had like them sort of striker issues. Do you think he could maybe start, or is he just not good enough?
Whenever I've seen him play for Chelsea, he's been like not getting involved in the play whatsoever, and he did have a good game every now and then, but I just don't think he's good enough for that team. He's like way too inconsistent.
Yeah. Liam, how are we going to have to play to beat Palace?
The same way we've been playing for the last 3 years. Sit back, get on the counter, run on, touch it down. Hopefully, Almiron can actually score a goal because it's been too long. But there's no reason why we would have to change anything. Palace are going to have the majority of the ball. They're going to they're going to try and have constant pressure, but there's just so many men usually behind the ball for Newcastle that there's not too much they're going to do with it. But I feel like they just need to take the time, wait, like they do every week, and when they do get a chance, they need to make sure that they actually take it. Because I feel like the Arsenal game was frustrating where in the first half they did have a couple of good chances and they just snatched that in. It was just kind of from after the first half they just didn't stand a chance because it was just one of them games where nothing was going forward. I didn't have many chances forward, and what we did was nothing really came of them.
Yeah, and what would you say is Palace's weak point?
Palace are very similar in a sense of squad, kind of how good the squad is, but I think the forward players are a hell of a lot better than the kind of midfield and players in the back. So I feel like if you can break down the attack and hit them quickly with the likes of Almiron and Perez, it wouldn't be hard for them to get in between the defence and potentially play it themselves or play it a Rondon.
Yeah.
So kind of that kind of quick play. Almiron's great at dribbling that players. If he can beat his man, then there's no reason why they can't have like a Rondon wait in the box for a cross.
Yeah. And James, what would you say is our weak point?
I think as a squad, probably trying to be too defensive and letting them put too much pressure on us. That'll be our weak point, I don't see.
Yeah, that's cost us a few times this year.
Yeah. Be interesting to see who we put in the midfield. If it's Diame and Hayden, I think that can sometimes affect the kind of creativity. I'd like to see Shelby playing, but obviously We've got a good front three on form. Hopefully Almiron can get his first goal.
Yeah.
But he's been playing well at St James's, so I think it'll just be the way we play will be what lets us down, really. If we are too defensive, I think it might affect us badly.
Yeah. Right, then. Get score predictions and man of the match predictions for this. Start with you, pal.
I think 2-1 Newcastle. I would love that because we'll actually go above them in the league as well.
Yeah. Who's man of the match?
Sorry, Rondon.
Right. Can you see him scoring?
Yes, I think he might get. I think he'll get one, and I think Almiron will get his first goal.
Yeah, that'll be good to see.
I think I said it last week, but
Just keep saying it to happen.
I think we need to stop saying it.
Liam.
I know I said I'm about to stop saying it, but I'm going to say 3 Newcastle, Miggy hat-trick.
I was going to say he'll get man of the match, but if that happens, I think... Yeah, definitely the Cells. James?
I'm going to go Miggy Almiron to be man of the match because he'll score his first goal in a 2-0 win for Newcastle with Rondon grabbing the other.
I literally just said that.
Yeah, no, I was Matt Ritchie, man of the match.
Yeah, I'll go 1-0. Lascelles had it. I'll actually get man of the match for Lascelles.
Miggy assist.
Yeah, well, probably not because it'll probably be a corner if like that does happen.
So I guess who that'll be?
Lascelles wouldn't be allowed forward from open play. If Lascelles went forward from open play, you'd get bollocked.
Yeah, no.
Imagine.
So we're supposed to halfway.
I know. Oh well, James, I believe you need to go.
I do, but I had a wonderful time with you guys.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
I love being on here. It's my dream.
Love you, James.
And I hope you guys predict the games tomorrow well. And
enjoy the game.
Have a great weekend. Thank you for listening to the Vengacast, boys. Cheers. Love you
James.
All the best.
In a bit.
Viva the Scotland.
What's he like, man? What's he like?
I can't find the app, so okay, bye.
You still get it?
That's so professional.
Okay, see you lads.
Bye.
In a bit. Right, looks like we're continuing on.
Carrying on.
Yeah, Everton Arsenal, the only game this Sunday. It's at Goodison Park.
I always like watching them games. Not gonna lie. Arsenal have been on a decent form recently, and this is probably the hardest game they have left.
Yeah, both of these teams have won their last two.
Yeah.
Both
Arsenal
2-0 as well.
didn't play it that well against Newcastle. I don't think. They only won just because
I thought they were quite poor.
More quality. Yeah, but they did beat Everton 3 times. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. They beat Everton 4 times in the last 4 games.
Yeah.
Scoring 15 goals. So obviously the Everton players will be looking at this and thinking, should probably get a result against them for once. Not get bad, but it is a Goodison Park as well, so that you have the home advantage. And did they beat West Ham over there?
Yeah,
they did,
yeah, they did.
So they are on a decent form. Zuma has been quite good for them as well. And they have been struggling at the back, yeah. So I think him stepping up alongside someone like Coleman, Sigurdsson and those kind of players, I think they could win this game.
Liam, before Pav was mentioning how this is probably Arsenal's hardest game left. Do you think Arsenal will be feeling pressure going into this, being involved in that top 4 race? Or will they sort of look at this and go, it's not the end of the world if we lose this?
The top 4 race is so close now, but I feel like they probably have got used to the Europa League by now. I don't know if they enjoy it or whatnot. But it's hard to say if they're going to have pressure or not. I can see it being a very interesting game. It's going to be really tough to call. I could probably say Jordan Pickford making an error as per usual. But
I wonder if you'll be scrapping anyone this game.
Man, that was. I'll actually be surprised if you start. You should be kind of. I don't know. Has he made an apology or anything? I haven't seen any kind of punishment towards him.
He's too stubborn.
Starting fights
He'd
in
never do
bars
that.
and stuff like that.
I was laughing as well because everyone's blaming Newcastle fans for that.
Oh, yeah.
But it was actually in Sunderland.
Yeah,
So I don't know how we're getting the
it was
blame.
funny though the way they sat there and
Everyone
shouted
hates
it along
Newcastle.
with them.
Kind of just shows how much of a
Yeah.
professional he is, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And he won't get a job because he's England's number one as well, so it's a bit ridiculous if you ask me.
The same thing I was saying last time I was on, just kind of with his mentality. He is a very good goalkeeper and a very good shot stopper, but he needs to screw his head on. He's such a good goalkeeper, but he has got a bit of little arms. But apart from that, he has got it all there, apart from his head and his arms.
But I think
Yeah, he's got butterfingers.
not biased this.
Yeah.
Yeah, not biased
Not
at
at
all.
I think he does need to change his attitude though, because if he continues doing like what he is doing, he could end up in like a bottom 10 Premier League team.
That's what he's in at the minute. To be fair.
Everton's actually top 10.
Are they? Oh.
I hope they are.
Bang on.
Oh.
Yeah, they are 10. We could drop a spot. No, but yeah, I think. Do you think how Everton have played the last two games? Do you maybe think the Newcastle game was a wake up for them
Yeah, probably.
when they threw? Because obviously they threw that game away being 2-0 up, but the last two games they've held on going 2-0 up. So, do you think there has been a mentality change with that squad in general?
So if we asking Liam there.
Go ahead.
Go on, Liam. Thanks.
I feel like it wasn't. I feel like that Newcastle game probably was a big wake up call because it wasn't even just Jordan Pickford that was having the kind of losing the plot. The entire team just kind of looked lost after in the second half. You would think the Everton team didn't even walk on the pitch in the Newcastle game, and I feel like that's quickly sorted them out and realised, like, it's a 90-minute match. We can't just do well for one half and not play it coming, because in the Premier League, I was about to say, likes of Huddersfield would even come in and turn it over if you're not on it, but I probably wouldn't, to be fair.
Yeah.
But wake up call, yes, and I feel like they do have a very good team, and they can't beat the likes of Arsenal. They can't be up there. I feel like they've had kind of a poorish season this season, whether that's kind of in terms of managerial kind of tactics or anything like that. But a very good team, head screwed on now, should kind of be hoping to finish strong at the end of the season.
Yeah, Pav, what do you think Everton will be aiming for to end the season? Do you think Europa League will still be in their mind, or do you think they'll just settle with where they are now, sort of around 10th?
I think it's a bit late for them now to aim for the Europa League, just because how close the top 6 is. So obviously, somewhere between Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea, and United will get Europa League. Wolves, Watford, and Leicester are on better form as well. Well, I'm saying that they do in the last 2 games. I think Wolves really deserve to get that European spot, but it could literally be any of those 4 teams. Even West Ham, to be fair, they could all get the last Europa League spot, but I just feel like if they do get Europa League next season, it could affect them badly, because we have seen that before.
Yeah, we've seen it with West Ham a couple of seasons ago when they got in the Europa League qualifiers and they just fell apart the season after.
Yeah, it happens a few times. It sort of happened with us as well. I remember under Pardew that season.
So I think it's dangerous.
Yeah.
But obviously, you do want your club to be in Europe, but like they do need to think this through. If they do
they need to make sure they've got the right squad depth before they kind of attempt it, because doing Premier League, and if they want to have like FA Cup and League Cup runs and try and get far in the likes of the Europa League, it takes a lot on the team. And I feel that that's where the difference between kind of the top 6 and everyone else is. Not so much in terms of the quality of players, but how well they manage the Champions League, Europa League games, Cup games, and everything in between.
Yeah, I'm just looking as well, and Arsenal play Napoli in the Europa League on Thursday. So do you think they'll sort of rest players for this game and prioritise that? Or do they still have to prioritise the league at this point?
I think they do, yeah. But I think their team's good enough to like
Focus on
start
both.
start a strong team both games, and do try and get 2 good results. Because I feel like at this point, there are like loads of good teams left in the Europa League, and obviously we did predict them to win it.
Yeah.
If you want to check out a different podcast, like I don't know which route is easier for them to get Champions League next year, with both competitions being so competitive.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have to like focus on both.
I think Arsenal fans, to be fair, I'm just assuming here, but this would be me if I was in their position. I think I'd still want them to ensure we got top 4 rather than gambling on Europa League.
It is nice like winning something though.
Yeah, win the trophy.
Over just getting top 4.
Yeah. That's sort of what Man U done a few years ago. But that gamble could have, like, how differently that season could have went if they didn't win that
definitely.
game. What do you think Arsenal's sort of weak point is that Everton could exploit and get that first win in 5 games against them?
The defence really, like, Mustafi really...
Yeah, he was really dodgy against us, I thought.
Shelley's past his prime, but injury prone, also makes mistakes. Socrates is alright, but is the problem. So I think if Everton does play it well, and players like Sigurdsson and Charlinson and so on turn up, they could win this game.
Yeah. Liam, who would you say has been Everton's best player this season? Because they've had a few people who show up like at different times, but they're all a bit inconsistent. But who's probably been the best across the whole year?
It's hard to say. I feel like Zuma's been strong for the majority of the season.
Yeah.
He's been Sigurdsson, it's just the usual kind of like Everton. He's just always there. And it's hard for Sigurdsson to have a bad day, kind of in the match, because he's always just there, kind of pulling the strings for Everton. Definitely not Jordan Pickford. But Michael Keane again has been strong. Everton's defence, even though you wouldn't think so, have got them players that are. Their defence is very talented.
I was going to say I've seen a few shouts to him, particularly to getting team of the season. Even
I would say that. Yeah, I would say he's been the best right back. Maybe actually second best.
It's probably between him and Robertson.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, probably so important.
But he's been playing centre back this year. But
imagine Fridge actually gets. Do you want to see that back?
Who would you say for Arsenal then? Because you could say a few people for Arsenal. Because despite Lacazette and Aubameyang have been banging in the goals, but like all over the pitch, they've sort of massively improved on the last few years.
Yeah, Torreira has been good, but he still needs to like adapt more to the Prem, I think.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I said, Aubameyang have both been very impressive. Someone I was really impressed with against Newcastle. Can't remember who it was.
I was going to say, what do you make of Xhaka? Because I'm just reading here. This season, he's had 500 more passes than second place for Arsenal, which is Torreira. He's got close to 2,000 this season. Do you maybe think he's sort of unsung a bit? Because you never really hear people praising Xhaka, except maybe like the Arsenal fans.
Yeah, I think honestly he's a really good player. He does have a class left foot.
He's a bit hot-headed at times.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot don't realise how good he actually is. And when he's not in that team, you notice a difference in them.
Yeah. Is there any maybe Everton players who you think would get in this Arsenal team?
Both fullbacks.
Both fullbacks.
Yeah.
And
I feel like Michael Keane could probably get in there as well, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
Just to hold the fans.
Michael Keane, Michael Keane on his day is very good.
I guess probably the closest comparison, which is one you could sort of debate a bit, is would you rather have like a young upcoming player like Lucas Torreira? Would you rather get Idrissa Gana Gueye, who you know is going to do a job, but he is a bit older? A sort of similar play styles as well.
Hard to say. They are both very similar, of course. Torreira has been, again, well, they both have been very good this season. Again, literally, well, has he ever kind of... He puts foot wrong here and there, but he's one of the players that he put... It's like you don't really realise he's there. He's a bit like Kante was when he was at Leicester. You don't really see much going on, but he's just there, and he's just a pain.
Well, it was even like... The year that Villa went down, he was the only good player on that team, Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
I think he's sort of proved himself since day one in the Premier League.
Yeah,
And that's the reason sort of teams like PSG were looking at them in January.
definitely.
Do you both think Arsenal's making the right decision letting Ramsey go?
Oh, that's a massive mistake, I think. I think he's the best midfielder.
At Arsenal?
Yeah.
How good do you think he is? And why is he better than like Xhaka and Torreira, Guendouzi, all them?
I think when he does step up in the big games, he is like one of the best players on the pitch, and he is injury prone, but I think he is going to succeed at Juve.
Yeah. Do you think he'll get a start for you, though? Because that's what I'm a bit unsure about.
See, when they sent Emre Can, everyone thought, oh, he's going to be such a useful player, but does he really play many games for them? Because they do have a really strong central midfield with like, is it Bentancur?
You've got Pjanic and
Pjanic,
Bentancur.
Matuidi.
Yeah, all them.
Khedira even.
Yeah.
So yeah,
maybe you could take Bentancur's spot. I don't know.
just kind of depends how Juve wants to like use him, yeah.
Yeah,
and how he adapts to that play.
If he actually got put in the UV squad, like a team doing very well, he perhaps doesn't have the kind of same flair that a lot of the UV players and like former UV players have, like the likes of what Pogba used to have. But it doesn't mean he's has any less ability in the sense that he can, on his day, absolutely control the entire pitch.
This might sound stupid, but he does remind me of Frank Lampard sometimes when he plays.
No, I can see
like
what
that
you mean.
scrum midfielder, like arriving late in the
It
box.
makes sense, to be fair. He is one of the players that kind of like, we've seen the likes of John Joe Shelby do it a lot of times as well, but he just maybe isn't as consistent.
Yeah.
Where when they can come on it and they can actually just dominate the entire pitch and just everything goes through them.
Yeah, to be honest, I thought particularly when we played Everton and we came back from 2-0 down, I thought he made the difference when he came on. I thought everything was going through him pretty much towards the end.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because sometimes Shelby, when you watch him play, you can get frustrated a lot when he hasn't got a ball. Because he loves to get a ball and just make like a 70-yard pass for just no apparent reason. Yeah. But he just loves to do it. And when he's on his day and when he's playing well and he's making them passes like it's nothing, it's really hard to cultivate, especially when you got runners like Amber on that waiting for them balls.
Finish this for score predictions and be quite an interesting one. This obviously the form of both teams.
I think 3-1 Arsenal.
Who would you say is going to be the standout player?
Ramsey again, actually.
Is Ramsey not? Did he not get injured against us?
Oh, fuck's sake, didn't he? Lacazette. I think Lacazette was man of the match against us. To be fair.
Yeah, he was.
It's causing so much problems. Yeah. So yeah, Lacazette, I think.
Liam.
I'm going to say 1-1.
Yeah.
I feel like there's going to be a very, very tough game. And I couldn't even say what's going to be like. Because I would love to sit here and say, oh yeah, Everton are going to sit back the entire game, but they just won't. Like, they will go for it. So it'll be hard to see. I feel like Ozil needs to start being Ozil that we know he is. In kind of, because I feel like he was all right against
I'm just
Newcastle
thinking
last week.
He got man of the match against us, I think. We were saying Lacazette,
yeah,
I
he
think
did.
it was Ozil, actually.
Yeah, on the Sky Sports, he got the man of the match. But yeah, he needs to start putting in the performances week in, week out. We all know that the ability is there. He needs to keep on doing it.
Who do you think will be? If it's 1-1, I'm assuming it's going to be a pretty good effort from Everton. Do you maybe think an Everton player would get man of the match in that?
If it is, it'll probably more than likely be one of the defenders or kind of central midfielders.
Yeah.
It'll be hard to put a specific name. You could probably just throw on like Kurt Zuma or something just for the fact of how well he's been playing recently.
Yeah. I'll say, I don't know. I think, like we were saying before, I think that Arsenal will still want to prioritise the league, and I think that they will really give it their all this game, despite that game on Thursday night. And I'll say Everton win 1. Well, not Everton. I think Arsenal win 1-2-0. Aubameyang gets the goal, gets man of the match, sorted.
It is.
Finishing the weekend then at Stamford Bridge on Monday night against West Ham.
I think West Ham's going to win that. Not going to lie.
It depends which West Ham
Or
team.
Chelsea turn up.
I say this every time I talk about West Ham. It's like, if the West Ham will know how well they can play, it turns up, then they can turn over any team. But if the West Ham, whether they just come on and just can't be bothered, turns up, then they'll get turned over by Chelsea.
Bit of a bogey team for Chelsea recently, West Ham. Chelsea haven't beat them since 2016. I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one, but West Ham haven't been doing too well recently. They're on, like, literally their form in the last 2 games has been loss, win, loss, win, loss. So, don't know. It could literally go either way, really. Chelsea's won their last 2. Do you think they're starting to pick things back up, Pav?
I kind of feel like at this point, as much as Chelsea wants to get top 4, I don't see much like mentality there of winning and going for that top 4 spot. Like, they're just the half just beat Brighton 3-0, and we've seen Loftus-Cheek, Hazard, and Odoi all stepping up. So I think when Sarri is playing the right players, instead of like Jorginho and so on, it could be a really good team, and I think it could be West Ham. But then I don't know if they're not gonna try and concentrate on the Europa League game, because they're also playing on Thursday, aren't they?
Slavia.
Yeah, like they're not playing as good of a team as Arsenal and Napoli, but I do think that Sarri will want to win something this season, and I do think the Europa League's
Chelsea's
only
priority.
3 years left to it.
Yeah, so we were just mentioning about Arsenal not prioritising it. Do you think it's the opposite for Chelsea, like?
Yeah, I think so. Just because they have been playing so much better in the Europa League.
Yeah.
Than in the Prem.
Yeah. Do you think maybe Chelsea's biggest problem this year has been team selection, because there's been so many players who have been performing well in the Europa League who just refuses to give a chance in the Premier League?
They also had like so many disappointing players as well who just signed with someone like Kepa, Jorginho, Kovacic, Higuain. Probably nearly every single player they signed, to be fair, they have been quite disappointing.
Yeah, obviously they won't be signing anyone next year, so do you think that's maybe a blessing in disguise for Chelsea in some ways? Because they're actually going to have to give like their youth a chance for once.
Yeah.
They're going to have to give them a chance. Like, they don't really
36.
Only.
Yeah, I think we're not the right manager.
Do you think a team of Chelsea loan players could stay up in the Premier League?
Oh yeah, I think they could. They could win the Championship and stay up in the Premier.
Yeah.
If you look at like Batshuayi and Lewis Baker,
you would have a good team.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like you were saying, Chelsea's such a weird team to call this year, because even though it's still Chelsea and they're still 5th, you just never know. Like, Chelsea could literally win or lose any game this season, it feels like, except when they're playing one of like the crap sides like Fulham or Huddersfield.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Do you think West Ham will be going into that game with confidence, knowing that?
I feel like whenever West Ham plays Chelsea, they always just want to beat them so much, and with players like Felipe Anderson, Chicharito, Arnautovic, and so on, Chelsea could struggle, and I wouldn't be surprised if West Ham did get a result at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah. In terms of squads on paper, how far away would you say West Ham actually are from Chelsea? Because I think when you look at the 2 squads on paper, West Ham's quality that they're putting up the last few years, they're getting closer and closer every year.
Obviously Chelsea is a massive club. Team-wise, they haven't been great.
Yeah.
I mean, like, compared to West Ham, they are a big, actually, but they are a bigger club, like Trophy.
They're bigger than West Ham.
Yeah, they are bigger than West Ham, and I think West Ham could maybe become like a top 6 team in the next 4 years or something. Like, I think you said it the other day, they have been like overtaking Everton.
Yeah.
In the last 2 years, so they do have a good thing going on there.
Do you think they're the closest of all the sort of teams hanging around, like the 8th spot, who can break into the top 6 at the minute?
Yeah.
Or would you maybe
Wolves.
say Wolves? Yeah, Wolves or Leicester or someone like that.
Yeah.
It's mad.
No, it is. I'll put a 5 on Wolves getting top 4 next season.
Top 4?
Yeah.
I I'll sound like a 5-on
Aye.
West to win the Premier season, mate.
Ronaldo will be there in a
Because
few
it honestly
years.
wins prizes. They'll probably get Ronaldo in.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Who have you been impressed most by at West Ham this year?
Philip Anderson. Had us a bit
Not
last
that
time.
rich.
Actually, Diop has been really good as well.
Exact same as last time.
Who? Diop.
He said Diop here.
Yeah, he has been decent.
Fabianski. Robert Snodgrass.
So-
James has been here.
Do you think, because obviously when you're playing a team like Chelsea, the usual sort of response would be to sit back and play defensively. But with the players that West Ham have, do you think that'll be the approach from them? Or will they just look at players like Arnautovic and Hernandez and, all them sort of flair players and go, why don't we give Chelsea a go?
Yeah, I think if West Ham go for it, they have a bigger chance of winning
Than
than just sitting back and trying to get like a odd goal.
Yeah.
Because when Chelsea is put under pressure, they do like struggle no matter who they're playing.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one for Chelsea, like we were saying. If Chelsea were to win this, like quite easily, would that sort of surprise you?
No, because I think when Chelsea does turn up and do play the right team, they are still really, really good. So it literally just depends on which Chelsea turns up.
Yeah.
Chelsea could fix their kind of
Mhm.
problems.
I still think they can
easily
get top
as well,
5 to do things right. But
literally, all they really need to do is just pick up
exactly.
N'Golo Kante and put him back where he needs to play. It's like, I don't understand
Yeah,
why
obviously.
Jorginho is still sat in that midfield.
Obviously, you're not a
Where he
Chelsea
is.
fan.
I don't get
but
it.
do you think Sarri should be there next season? Are you sorry in or sorry out?
no, sorry, yeah.
Liam, what about you?
I feel like now Zidane's back at Real Madrid. I feel like Zidane would probably be the best manager that they could have got in. I feel like now when you look around with the managers available, you could maybe like so wouldn't surprise me if Mourinho went back, to be honest. But there's no one really out there that is going to do
Sorry.
a better job, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and although Sarri is doing a fantastic job, I feel like you could get something that's going to be just as bad, if not worse.
I would say some of Chelsea's problems in the last few years came from sacking managers too early anyway. So they want to keep that trend going.
Yeah. I feel like, of course, when you can see his intent when he came in and he tried to get players like Jorginho who used to play with his old clubs, but I feel like, of course, bringing a couple of players in isn't going to massively affect that, and then not being able to further build his team in the summer with the transfer ban, of course, it's going to be hard for him to build the squad that he wants. I feel like it would be a bit, although the performances have been up and down, it would be a bit harsh if over the summer they would get rid of him, especially with all the kind of things that he's had to deal with.
Would you say that's being an issue this year? You were saying about him signing Jorginho and trying to sort of play the same way he did at Napoli. Do you think he's maybe too stubborn with his tactics at times and he needs to be a bit more flexible? Because you can't force Kante out of position and different problems like that.
Yeah, to be honest, he is very stubborn, but he's very... It's in the sense of, like, Rafa Benitez is stubborn.
But it works.
They're stubborn because they know the system works. And when the players do the jobs properly, it works perfectly fine. And they can win games easily. But I feel like, of course, he would need quite a few transfer windows to get the team that he kind of needs and mould it the way he wants. But, of course, he doesn't have that privilege anymore. So it's going to be hard to see what's going to happen with him.
Pav, what would you say has been a bigger problem for Chelsea this year? Like the tactics, playing Kante out of position, all that, and the team selection, or do you think the players' attitudes themselves? Because that seems to have been an issue sort of in the background for years.
Yeah, I think it's attitudes, because I think at the start of the season, I'm sure Chelsea was like keeping up with City and Liverpool, and they were playing like the football side wants to play, and it was working. Yeah. But like you always say, to lose 2 games in a row, players get a job, they all say they want to leave, and it's just a like team full of big egos, and I think maybe, I don't know how to word this. If the right manager came in and saw them out, I don't think they would need to maybe change the players, because quality wise,
Yeah.
they are really good and they do have massive depth.
Yeah, 'cause I sort of think that's what the problem was at Madrid as well. I think the players had bigger ego than the manager, and that's why they needed someone like Zidane to come in. So do you think Chelsea will be looking for the same thing?
I know it sounds stupid, but it's probably way too early to give Frank Lampard a chance. But if you do look at what Madrid done, and it did work, maybe it wouldn't be that much of a bad idea. But
and then
at the moment,
no matter what, the fans are going to back Lampard, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. Whereas you get so many fans saying,
Sorry out.
"Oh, sorry out," and they're not actually blaming the players.
Yeah.
Apart from 2 or 3. So I do think Sarri has been unfairly treated by the fans, but at times he's not really helping himself with the cancer situation now.
Yeah. Outside of Hazard, then, who probably is Chelsea's best player by a mile, who's the second best player after him?
Can't tip out in position.
Yeah.
I think Loftus-Cheek's really good.
Yeah.
Really underrated. Rudiger, I think Chelsea could build a really good defence around him.
Do you think Sarri sort of has a point with when he says he doesn't want to play players like Loftus-Cheek and Hudson-Odoi because of their age, and he'd rather trust players like Willian and Jorginho? Or do you think it's just irrelevant and he should just play them if they're playing well?
Yeah, I do think it's irrelevant. You see so many big clubs. Look at Alexander-Arnold at Liverpool or Wan-Bissaka at Palace.
Yeah,
he's tried.
They've been given a chance.
He's tried to trust in Jorginho though, it just isn't working.
Nah.
I kind of think Jorginho's just an Italian Danny Trinquois.
Italian Danny Trinquois.
His Trinquois? He's still there. Is he still there?
Yes. Hasn't played again this season yet. I'm looking at the squad now and he's there, number 6, Danny Trinquois.
He won't be there next year, I'm pretty sure about that.
Definitely not.
But do you think, like we were saying with Arsenal before, how a few Everton players would get in that team? Could you say the same for this one, that some of these West Ham players could get in this Chelsea team?
I think, let me just look up his West Ham. I think Diop could get in there. Anderson. Arnautovic, just for Liam's sake.
Andy Carroll,
yeah.
Snodgrass, maybe.
Snodgrass.
Declan Rice.
Imagine Chelsea fans then if they weren't playing Hudson-Odoi and playing Snodgrass instead.
I cannot imagine playing Snodgrass and Drinkwater for a game.
I've realised recently as well, whenever Hudson-Odoi plays and he plays well, or Chelsea social media backs him so much, on Twitter and Instagram. And Sarri's just oh no, you're on the bench for the next game, mate.
Yeah. Why do you think Chelsea fans do love Hudson-Odoi so much?
I think it's because probably that better than Willian.
But do you think, because obviously Willian's still good and Hazard's good and Pedro's good, but what's the difference with him? Do you think it's just because Chelsea fans are crying out for a youth prospect to finally do well?
Yeah, we never have we have promising players.
Oh, exposed.
It's been a long day, man. Leave us alone. They have
how's that, pal?
Piss off. I forgot I was going to say that.
You were saying about Chelsea's youth prospects, how you haven't had a good one.
Oh yeah, they haven't had a good one in the weather. They seem to have a promising player. Give him a few chances. He has one bad game, gets loaned out,
never comes back.
Snap plays again. Yeah.
That does seem to be the cycle. Do you think it's just Chelsea fans finally going, we want to sort of break the wheel?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Right then. Final score predictions.
Just because I said I'm going to say 2-0 West Ham.
That would be an upset.
I'm going to go for...
Zabaleta's commander match.
I'm going to say 2-1 Chelsea.
Yeah, I can say that's happening for sure.
Giroud get 2 goals.
Do you think Giroud will start?
I mean, I would hope so.
He should start.
I feel like he's one of the most underrated players Chelsea have.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's very underrated at Arsenal as well for what he does for the team.
He's always been underrated, really, Giroud.
Yeah. maybe because he probably likes to spend, like he thinks he spends more time grooming his hair than anything else.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is very underrated. He is really important to a team.
Remember when he was playing in the World Cup for France? He hasn't had a single shot yet.
He was
like still starting every game.
But he was still one of
World
their
Cup with
most important players. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, he was just
It's
like
just the way he plays.
he just
yeah.
made life so much easier for Mbappe and Griezmann and everyone around
Yeah.
him. He's a bit like Rondon for us. He doesn't always
I was about
score.
to say that.
Yeah.
You know, he's just there. He's there. You hold it up.
They have to, like, the other teams, you have to mark him. You can't
Yeah.
leave him, and because you're often having to put maybe 2 men on him because he is that kind of physical player, and he has got the ability to do things himself if you need to. It just creates a wealth of space for his French teammates and Mbappe, but in the Chelsea team where Hazard.
Yeah, I think what makes Giroud so good as well is what sort of separates him from like other big men strikers is everyone knows he does have that flair as well. Like he's sort of proved with.
Yeah.
I think everyone remembers that sort of
Scorpion
scorpion
kick.
kick at Arsenal.
Oh.
Yeah. And you know he's done like he scores goals like that all the time, like quite acrobatic goals. He's sort of similar to Ibra, like not as good. Oh well, not as good as Ibra was in his prime. He's probably better than Ibra now, but yeah.
It's got some left foot like.
I think Lewis Conte's better than Ibra now.
Sweden's number 9.
I thought, yeah.
Have you seen his 3-yard miss today? Oh, Joe, honestly, you should have seen it, Joe. I'll explain to you later.
Joe,
Literally 3 yards out, kicked to his left foot and hit like the top of the net to have on the pitches.
Yeah.
Like,
there was 30 seconds left as well. The score, I think we were losing 9-8.
Oh, I didn't even know what the score was actually. Yeah.
yeah,
we
well,
were
that's
losing 9-8.
probably should have won.
And the absolute skies are open.
Yeah. I still need to get Lewis on here actually. Like the only one who hasn't been on now.
Good luck trying to get them on.
Yeah, I know. I'll do like a relationship one with him or something.
Have them.
Yeah.
DJ
Oh,
could like tempt them.
I'll have like a Jeremy Taylor episode.
Yeah, Pavanarin on.
Aye. Haven't I?
Right.
Right.
We'll talk about it after.
Chelsea, West Ham. I'll say, I don't know.
Oh, we're still talking about the game.
Yeah. I'll say 2-0 Chelsea. I'll say, I don't know. Screw it. I'll go Higuain has the game of his life and gets 2 goals. Probably not the game of his life, but yeah. And gets man of the match as well. Right. That's all the games this week. Cheers for coming on, lads. Thanks to James as well, even though he's not here anymore.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
All right. I'll see you later.
See you later.